Wow, did we just get hit with a major announcement. One that has a lot of people up in arms for the wrong reasons. So the thing that's getting people crazy is that they're removing daily quests. But wait, don't comment. Just hang on 1 second. I made a pros and cons list because those daily login rewards will be distributed to the missions and the daily quests. Let's just go through the checklist. I'm going to read the whole blog post right here from Freight Train, but let's just get the footnotes out of the way so that we can get everybody on the same page. So first and foremost, we will get better daily quests. That means the usual 50 V-Bucks, 60 V-Bucks, or 100 V-Buck quests, or X-ray tickets for everybody, will now be 80 V-Bucks, 90 V-Bucks, or 130. They are adding 30 V-Bucks and X-ray tickets to every single quest. V-Bucks are, of course, only if you're a founder, so sorry for normal players, but you're still going to be getting 30 extra X-ray tickets. You'll also now be getting 10 extra gold. Daily quests used to give you 240 gold. In this upcoming update, they will now be giving you 250. You can kind of see that illustrated here. So what this was laid out to be in the blog post is that should be more gold than you would have ever gotten from the daily login rewards. If you actually play the game at least once every 3 days and do your quests, unlike me right here, apparently. I actually did play. I just didn't complete any daily quests, but that's besides the point. You should be getting, just count the days in the year. So 3,650 extra gold from your daily quests is kind of a major bonus. Yeah, so that should be more than you got from your daily rewards. Then there are also bigger weekly stores. The specifics of this were not in the blog post yet. I'm guessing, do not quote me, that we'll get more evolution materials, as that will be kind of a thing in the later, I'll talk about that later. Maybe we'll get extra legendary items. I don't really know, but more weekly items, as it was specified that a lot of endgame players have what I have. My 88,000 gold is actually considered low compared to my friends. I think a Walry and Archer are in the millions. I don't know. People around me, more than those two, have a lot of gold on hand. I think that Mattio's pretty rich too. And so we need to spend that somewhere, and they acknowledge that. So we'll also be getting better mission rewards. Mini-boss missions will have higher rarity items. For those of you who don't know, there are going to be a lot of terminology thrown around here. So what we are talking about are the rewards at the bottom are not what is discussed in this blog post. The timers are what are called alerts. And if you see this little skull, it'll actually appear on the map as well sometimes. That is a mini boss mission. So these missions have mini bosses. I know this is obvious to regular players, but I need to lay this out so that everybody's on the same page. 4X missions always have a mini boss. We are currently in what is called a mutant storm, okay? This is player terminology, but you can see on the yearly timeline, which I plug all the time, we sometimes have mini boss seasons where tons of different missions have mini boss alerts and therefore have really good rewards. We are currently in the nature storm, very, very soon moving on to the Blasted Badlands season. That'll actually be starting June 21st with the end of the venture season and the start of the next. It'll be another mutant season with fire as the modifier. So these regular missions here that have kind of junk rewards are not mini boss missions. And anyway, so mini boss missions will have higher rarity items where their mini llamas will be pushed into regular llamas. The regular purple heroes and weapons will now be legendary in some cases. It'll be pretty random, but for the most part, we should be getting better stuff. Perhaps maybe legendary leads will be mythic more often. I don't know. Just saying. And then the regular missions will also be buffed. So when they aren't mini boss missions, which is true for, if I pull up that timeline again, 60% of the year, only 2 venture seasons actually have mini boss missions, which means 60% of our year have these junky skip missions. Like Epic has to know nobody is running these for the rewards, and they have acknowledged that. So these missions will now have buffed rewards. That'll be covered more specifically in the blog post, but we'll have better missions. The idea of that from the blog post, I've read it twice now, is that the daily quests that are quote unquote gone are now just being distributed to the game. So instead of just logging in and grabbing your rewards, which isn't that glamorous if you consider the 10 rain, the 5 lightning in a bottle that I was getting is now just pushed into regular missions. I think that makes a lot of sense. And something they also addressed with the higher rarity items was that regular missions will now have like better items. Well, it'll be talked about in the blog post, but there will be less evolution material missions. But when you run specific missions, you should get more evolution materials. So who doesn't want more materials from less work, right? Because usually when people play the game, they're just running one good 4X mission to get those evolution materials, running that back to back to back to back to back. That's typically how you farm an evolution material. So getting more from one mission is a good change. Now, this is for the early game players. Early camp early campaign quests will now be giving you higher rarity heroes and weapons. If you have already completed those quests, we're going to get a nice little gift box. If you're brand new to the game, then you'll get an easier start to save the world, which is awesome because there are a lot of things in this game, yearly timeline, and a lot of it comes around cyclically, which means yearly and annually. So if you miss Blakebeard the Blackhearted, which I was just recommending in a recent video, I forgot that he already left, you need to wait a whole year to get him or voucher him, which, yeah. So getting some good heroes early on in your quests is a nice change. And endurance players, they looked out for you too. You're going to get better rewards because they added the daily quest for giving you battle pass XP, but there wasn't really anything save the world related to that, and you'll be getting that now. So if you run endurance every day, they got you. The only con, sorry, I don't have the thing on, removing the daily login rewards is kind of a con, but not really. Like I said, everything you get from the daily login rewards are being distributed to your missions now and your daily quests, so you're really not missing anything. And a neutral change is that the amount of V-Bucks you get from missions will be completely unchanged, which I get that. V-Bucks ties into the sales of Battle Royale, and they didn't want to mess with that, and I don't blame them. I bet it's not up to the Save the World devs to change V-Bucks. So now that we've broken down the report, let's read specifically what Epic released with their words. I'm going to remove the advanced UG in my creator code, which you guys should both use, by the way, just so that we can all I'll get a better view of this. I should really turn on my streamer mode for Discord. But let's get into this. It's gonna make me nice and tiny here. All right, there we go. Just the way I am. So changes coming to Fortnite Save the World's daily reward system. I'm gonna actually, since I already laid out everything, we're just gonna pretty casually turn on streamer mode because I'm getting a lot of pings for this update. With the release of the 25.1 update that's coming up next, we'll be making significant changes to this reward system. We'll be removing daily login rewards, as we talked about, and shuffling those rewards to the daily quests and mission alerts. As players reach higher difficulty levels, we want to make sure everyone finds the system valuable. Our goal is so that finishing a single quest and alert makes up for the removal. We recognize that finishing a daily quest and mission alerts requires more time than just logging in. I think that's what they wanted to avoid, because simply logging in and grabbing your daily quest and then closing the game is not how they want people to play Save the World. I get that. I think actually running a mission is what they want players to do. So, daily quests, V-Bucks, extra tickets, and gold. I already said this earlier, but you can read this if you'd like. Daily daily quests will now give you 30 extra X-ray tickets and V-Bucks if you're a founder. So, pretty great. Then if you complete the daily quest when you log in, you'll be able to earn in-game currency at the same rate as this change, and since you can bank up to 3 daily quests, I don't know what that means. If you complete 1 daily quest each time, you'll be able to earn in-game currency at the same rate. I actually don't know what that means. Does that mean gold? I think that means gold, but that was also addressed in the very next post where we're getting an extra 10. So like I said, 10 doesn't sound like much, but if you play at least every 3 days and complete your quests while you play, that's an extra 3,600 gold per year, which is a lot. I believe there are 365 days in the year. Those who watch my dailies might disagree, but those people can't understand jokes. So to accommodate this gold change, we'll be increasing the quantity of resources available for sale in the weekly store. That's what I said earlier. This is all we know. More stuff in the weekly store. I don't know if that means more evolution materials or a higher quantity of rarity heroes and items or both, but I'll take it. And then we got the daily founders llamas, which if you have any unclaimed llamas in your daily quests, you're just going to get them all at once. That's pretty simple. Mission alerts. Daily login rewards are also the source of schematics and heroes and defenders and survivors, evolution materials. To compensate for this, we'll be making some improvements. Now, the mini-boss missions will have an increased rarity for those items. That's what I was saying earlier. So if you had like green, blue, purple heroes, whatever, they'll now be legendary. Perhaps legendary heroes might give you a higher chance for mythic heroes in missions. I don't think we get mythic heroes from missions. I should know. I've made 970 daily videos, or at least me and my guests have, but I've at least made like 900 of those, so I don't think we get mythics in the missions. That'd be a cool change, though. I would dig that, because the mythic heroes in this game aren't even that great. Like, there's no reason to lock them behind llamas, in my opinion, from a gameplay perspective. Anyway, all right, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, on top of higher rarity items, mini-boss missions will grant, potentially, a chance for them to grant a second reward of the same type and rarity, and alerts that grant mini-llamas will also have a chance to grant a higher quantity of mini-llamas, or to get an upgrade llama from your missions. Upgrade llamas for your missions. If you think about how many X-ray tickets we get from our missions, you have to realize upgrade llamas are 50 a piece. That is essentially a 50 X-ray ticket reward. Granted, that X-ray ticket, it's not like it's transferable to another item, but if you're somebody who was previously buying upgrade llamas, now you don't have to worry about that. that's pretty cool. So yeah, another major change they'll be making is the mission alerts to give all storm alerts on the map. That's what I was talking about earlier with those timers, a chance to grant items and llamas. Instead of always rewarding evolution and perk materials, this includes the rarity increase and bonus items described above, and should significantly reduce the reward gap between seasons. That reward gap being 60% of the year, Epic. Hopefully this makes regular missions year-round super playable, because I don't like skippable days. I showed it on the map earlier, I'll show it again. I think it's, and I told this to Epic, I told that to Freight, who was just messaging me, like, this is not okay. There should never be a skippable day in Save the World. You never want a player to log in and be like, oh, missions are trash, and then close the game and go play something else. I don't think that should be a thing anymore, and I'm hoping, these are just words, we can't see the missions that'll be there yet, but I'm hoping this is the change that we're looking for. So, since this change will mean fewer evolution materials on the map, we'll be increasing the quantity earned when you complete them. So, that's what I was saying earlier. We'll get less missions that have evolution materials, and better evolution materials from the missions that do have them. So, it should balance it out. Note that the change extra tickets V-Bucks for founders, mission alerts is not being affected. So, like I said earlier, overall, our goal with mission alerts is that when you survey the alerts on your map, you should be able to pick up a reward equally valuable or more valuable than the daily login reward would have been either way, especially for late game players who no longer need lower rarity items. Exactly, yeah. Players like me, just my eyes glaze over blue items. I have not cared in years, and hopefully this changes that. Now, for the early campaign quests, if you're somebody just starting the game, the early part of the daily login track helped new players get some of those items and heroes, and while these changes should make up for this loss, we've also added some rare, epic, and legendary items to the quests on top of the missions for Stonewood and Plankerton players, so if you're just getting started, this will be a nice boost to you. And then for those of us who've already completed it, we'll get those in a nice little gift box. And then endurance players will now get more stuff in their daily endurance quests, which should be good for them. So yeah, there's the update. Leave your comments down below. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I think overall the headline is that we get better missions and more V-Bucks. That's probably what I titled this, and I believe it. I've read this blog post now 3 times, and I don't see what people are upset about. I think this should be great, very, very good for the game. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. New videos on the channel. In fact, I'll plug them right at the very end. If you need something to go watch after you leave your comment, I got a new video opening some llamas. I also made a Tears of the Kingdom video, if you love that amazing game. Modifiers for Horde mode are out, or if you really want to make sure you spend your gold wisely, I made a whole video talking about the heroes and weapons that are going away with the end of the season. That'll probably be on an end card. I highly recommend checking that out so that you don't miss out. All right, goodbye.